the fifth time, Cecil Fielder.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Rooster Crows podcast. My name is Rob Deere, and I have a very, very special, not only friend, but player that I'm going to talk to, and that's Cecil Fielder. Cecil, I can't tell you thanks enough for being here, and it's great just to see your face and hear your voice.
Well,
Welcome.
hey, Big Robbie, it's kind of a fun thing to be on here with you today because you know, we've always had fun together. No matter if I was in Arizona, no matter if we were playing together, no matter if we was on the road or at home, we always had a good time. And I think that's what made my experience being with you and Mickey and Henny and all those guys made it a great experience because we always tried to make sure that not only we were going to play hard, but we were going to have fun doing it. So hey,
You're,
I'm
you're
I'm
exactly
here for
right.
that reason that you are one of my, I ain't gonna say the word, but you one of my homies. So this is a
Yeah,
good
well, I
thing.
feel the same way, Seth. And we've always had a great connection, and I think the world of you. We talked about this earlier, and you feel the same way. I want to address, you know, everybody in California, and our hearts and thoughts are going out to all our friends in California, all the people. It's been devastating, and if you watch that on TV, I'm sure you have. But we both grew up there, and we
Yeah.
have fond memories of everybody that's there in the city, and like what's happening there now is just unbelievable.
Well, it's so unbelievable. I've got family. You got family. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm looking at Facebook with all my family sending videos about what's going on. It's devastating, man. That place, I mean, where we grew up, it was such a beautiful place as kids
Oh,
growing up in the valley and just running around. And I mean, to me, to look at it, what's going on right now, it's just heartbreaking. It's just
it's
terrible.
yeah, and it's like it doesn't matter how big your house is or how much it's worth. All your belongings and starting over. These poor people, like it's devastating.
Well,
And
Rob, just imagine losing all the pictures of your kids, you know,
right,
as
right.
babies and growing up. And I got a picture. I got to show you this picture real quick. This is the old man, me and the old man in Detroit, right?
Yep.
So they gave me that. They gave me the Legacy Award last year, a couple years ago, and they gave me the Legacy Award. And there's two of those. I got one, and his family has one.
How
And
cool.
Detroit. That was like now. Detroit to me was like Milwaukee was to you. I mean, you're never gonna get out of that. It's always
Yeah,
gonna be Milwaukee, and I'm always gonna be Detroit. Yeah, I played New York, and yeah, I played in a couple other places, but
you're
Detroit is
exactly
always
right.
gonna be home. Yeah, it's always gonna be home.
Yeah, and you know what? I had Greg Vaughn on last week, and you know what? He kind of said the same thing. Once you're in a place for the longest time,
Hmm.
like I was in Milwaukee, and my love for Milwaukee is, it'll never change. But I still have the same feelings of everybody in Michigan. Like I love the people of Michigan. I don't, it says, do you remember ever hearing a boo come out of that stadium towards us?
No, I did, and I
Never.
tell people that all the time, man. I think Milwaukee and Detroit were so similar because of the fact that they were hard working blue collar towns, right? So the people respected the fact and they appreciated the fact that me and you and the rest of our guys came to work to play every single day. We
Yeah.
didn't take days off because we had a little thumb or pinky, or we played the game every day. We figured it out whether we were injured a little bit or whether we were not feeling the best, we worked it out. We played the game. And I think that's something that is lost in the game today. The guys they don't respect the game like that, like we did. We went out there to play.
And I talk about this always. And for a short time, I spent a season as a major league hitting coach in Chicago. And I noticed things, and I won't bring up names, but I remember seeing players, they wouldn't even shower. They would get done with the game, they throw their clothes on real quick and run out the locker room. And it's like, that's a part of baseball.
Yeah.
Like you remember those times where we sit in the locker room and you stay there until you get everything fixed and everything's going good, and then you can go. And it's just like when we started a game, it wasn't about and we were this was a team that we all had homers and we all hit, you were the RBI machine, but it's like how nobody cared about numbers. We all were in a locker room. We got Tram and Lou and these guys. I mean, winning was everything to us. And it wasn't about numbers. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about how many home runs you got, how many
Well,
RBIs.
and you hit it right on the head. That is the part of the game that I miss the most, man.
Yeah.
The hanging out, the being with my dudes, figuring it
Bus
out. Hey, man.
rides,
Yeah, what did we do? What did we do
airplane
good?
rides.
Yes. What did we do
Nothing's
today?
funner than being on a bus ride after you just had a great road
Oh,
trip
man.
or whatever.
And
It's like,
talking
remember those
trash.
bus rides? It didn't
And
matter if it was
talking
2
trash.
o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, you're on a plane.
Yep.
You're still laughing.
Yep.
And,
But that's
and
the part of the game I say, Rob, that I miss because, having that camaraderie with your teammates, to be on a team that is that close and can communicate with each other no matter if it's 8 o'clock in the morning or it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
right,
If you needed your teammate, they were going to be there. And that right there,
no doubt.
that feeling is, you probably ain't never going to have that again. That
No.
right there was the ultimate feeling. And the thing about it is every time you see one of your teammates, it's a happy time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's the
exactly.
good part about having that cohesiveness that we had. Every
Right.
time we see a teammate, it's always a good time.
Right. And another thing that's really cool about doing this and why I enjoy it so much is because you could not talk to somebody for years. And once you connect with them, it's like us. We
No question.
we talked about a week ago and it was like we never stopped talking. There
No
was
question.
no
No
time.
question.
You get so close
Dude,
to
we're
people.
always going to be connected. We're
Yeah, we're
always
always
going to
going
be
to be
connected.
connected.
Always. Every last one of us are always going to be connected. And that's why, even Vonnie, I got to say a story about Vonnie, though. Vonnie was young. He was young in the game. And Vonnie came out to my house in Grosse Pointe, and I had an old 57 Chevy in the garage.
I remember.
And he fell in love with that dang car. And there was no way he was going to leave unless I gave it to him. So he bought the car. He bought the car right out of my garage.
He
So,
did?
yeah, he wouldn't leave. He said, I got to have that, because I had like 2 or 3 of them in there.
I remember.
And he just said he had to have it. And he took it. I don't know if he still has it, but he took it. 57.
That's a great
Rag
year.
top. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
good year. Good
Wasn't
year.
it turquoise or white? Or I remember
Well, I
seeing
had
it.
one white and I had a red one. And I
Yeah.
had I had a white, a turquoise, and a red. He took the red one.
Right. Isn't that fun? Isn't that cool? How about tell me a little bit about, because last time not the last time, but a couple years ago we talked, and I think I was going through something with my back, and you'd been going through something with your health, and I'm so glad because I can tell you're feeling great and you sound great, and we talked a couple times before this, and we're kind of in the same thing. We enjoyed just relaxing, but let's talk a little bit, because I wanted to talk about your family, and it's amazing to me. And I want to just start off because you ended up with 319 home runs, right?
Right.
And your son ended up with the exact same number of home runs.
Yeah, that's
Prince.
crazy. That's crazy
Like,
stuff.
right?
That ain't never gonna happen again, Rob. I mean,
That's never going to
like,
happen.
well, but then we talked about the other things, the home runs and the innings, and he and I are connected so much in everything. I mean,
Everything.
RBIs. I think I had 1,008. He had 1,028. I mean,
Isn't it crazy?
fourth inning home runs, fifth inning home runs, seventh inning home runs, ninth inning home runs, all the same number.
Yeah.
That's never gonna happen again, ever.
And there's always been talk of this, but it was like we would always see Prince in the locker room, and Kirk Gibson and I would put him in that luggage cart. Remember there was like the luggage
in
carts?
Anaheim. No,
Yeah,
no,
where you throw
time
the
you
towels
guys-
in and the guy would push it, and he'd push it through
No.
the locker room and it'd be like squeaky and the wheels would
No,
be
but
going.
Rob, the time you guys put tape all around him and stuffed him in the trash can. I'm like, oh my God. The kids in the trash can got tape all over, calling for me, and he's in the trash can. See, people don't know about this kind of stuff. That kid was in our locker room all the time, all
and
the
and
time.
and everybody wanted him at his locker because it was like it was fun to mess with Prince. I remember I'd stick him in that luggage cart and push him through the locker, and he'd get down to the end where that ramp that went down to the bathrooms, and he'd hit that ramp, and he would fly into the towels, and it was
Oh yeah.
just like. And then we an hour later we see him out there taking BP.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
I mean, it's and I got to tell you this, and Prince will vouch for this, but when I was a hitting coordinator for San Diego, we'd have spring training games against them when he was in Milwaukee, and I was with the Padres. He was in Milwaukee, and every time he'd get on deck or something, he'd kind of turn around and give me a nod, and I'd always
Right.
give him like the come on, I want to see one,
Yeah.
and he'd
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
cracking up, and then I could see him up at the plate just swinging. But I'm a big believer. If Prince doesn't get hurt, if Prince doesn't hurt his neck, I bet he hits 500 homers.
No doubt. There's no
I
doubt.
mean,
I mean, the kid was, Rob, I told Mr. Illich a long time ago that kid was going to play in the big leagues. I mean, you got to believe in it. You got to see it. And he thought I was
yeah,
joking, but I wasn't joking. I knew that kid from day one, walking around the house with a diaper on, swinging a, I was about to
yeah.
cut, swinging a
No,
little, fungo bat in the house with a diaper. So I'm like, okay, this is not right. This is some different stuff. And I
and
got
he was
another one. I got another one now that does the same thing. I got one here that does the same thing. It's unbelievable the similarities to Prince and Max. It's crazy the similarities. Both of them are left-handed hitters, right?
really.
Both of them are gonna be first basemen, right? Both of them are. This dude's Cop Diesel. This little dude here, he's 8 years old, but he's Cop Diesel. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I've seen him hit. I've seen him
Yeah,
hit in the
he's a little
cage.
different. He's a little different build than Prince, but he's still, and I was telling you yesterday that Ricky Williams is my family. I mean, that's my cousin. So
Right.
they all built like tractor trailers. I mean, it's unbelievable.
And then tell us about your other son who's in
Uh,
Florida playing
he,
football, who I wouldn't
yeah,
run into him. No
yeah.
way. He's built
Rob,
like a brick. You know
he
what?
reminds me of us when we were young. Though he reminds me of us.
Wow.
He's that kind of player. He's gonna be an impact player here this year. I think he's
Yeah.
gonna play a lot this year. The game has changed. Like we were talking when we were coming up. When we were coming up through high school, we were the guys that were going to get the scholarships. The seniors in high school would get the scholarships. Now with this NIL and all this kind of stuff, the kids out of high school ain't getting it. They're not
Right.
getting it. It's the guys that are in junior college or the transfers or the NIL. I mean, it's crazy. So I told him, look, when you get your chance this year to play, you grab that son gun by the throat and never let him go because this is how you're gonna
Absolutely.
get to where you want to go. You
Yeah.
gotta burn the midnight oil. You gotta work harder than everybody else. And that's
That's
the
exactly right. I'm
mentality.
glad you said that.
Yeah, that's the mentality we have.
Yeah, just like my dad said, and he wanted me to make sure to tell you hi today. The last time he saw
Good.
you, he was at the airport. You flew into to Mesa Airport, and he called me on the phone. He goes, "Big Ceci just left on the airplane," and he said you
Yep.
were there, and he talked to you at
Yep.
the airport. This was like
Yep.
10 years ago, and he
Yeah, a
still
long time
remembered that.
ago.
But
Yeah.
yeah, he wanted me to make sure to tell you hi.
You bet and tell him I said hello for sure.
I will. I will.
But
How?
getting back to our health, I just gotta let folks know that, you know, us as athletes, we always feel like we're bulletproof.
Ooh,
So, we go through like, something hurts, give me an aspirin. Give me Tylenol. Give me a couple Tylenol. I'm all right. Well, this, it kind of started in like 2017. I started getting these crazy feelings and my blood pressure was going out of this world. I was walking around a ticking time bomb. I was walking around with 234 over 100. And that
wow.
was my blood pressure number. And my wife kept telling me, babe, you gotta go to the doctor. I don't know what this
Yeah,
is.
that's our problem.
Okay.
That's
So
always our problems.
I go to the doctor and they taking my blood pressure, Rob, And the man is telling me, man, you know, your blood pressure is really high, man. You might have to stay in the hospital. I stopped staying in the hospital. Well, I ended up not only having I had kidney failure, but I also had triple bypass surgery. Like first, it was triple bypass in 2018. And during the triple bypass, I was on dialysis, Rob. This is now, you check me out. Okay, so first I check in the Cleveland Clinic here in Western Florida, and I have to have a dialysis session before I can have my heart surgery because they got to clean me
Wow.
out too. So I go in the day before they do my dialysis. You know, that day you do dialysis, it just drains you. Your body's dead.
Yeah.
So they wait until the next night to do my heart surgery. So, you know, triple bypass, I mean, they got to pop you open. It
Yeah.
ain't no. So I was in the hospital for 10 days for that, but every other day I was getting dialysis. So I end up doing dialysis, Rob, for 3 straight years.
No.
Never missed one dialysis session in 3 years, and finally got me a kidney. So you talk about being through it. There was a couple times, Rob, that I got infections. I didn't think I was gonna make it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm
I'm
so
blessed.
glad you're doing I'm so
I'm
glad you're
blessed.
doing well. You look great and you
I'm
sound great.
Rob,
Hey, well,
I weighed in this morning at 218.
damn. You
I
look
haven't
good,
been
Sess.
I haven't been 218, Rob, since I was in high school.
What did you
I
play at? What did
I
you play
played
at?
at 260.
260? I was
Yeah.
like 240, or
Yeah,
I
I
think I
played
was
at
like
260.
240 at the end.
You
Yeah.
were at 240?
Yeah. I'm
Rob,
like
these guys are 280. You know Prince was playing at 280 pounds?
he was,
Yes.
and he could swing, couldn't he? Man, some of
Dude,
those
he had 2 inside the park home runs.
yeah.
That's
Well, that
crazy.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because we talk about baseball and we talk about hitters and we talk about being athletic, right? Do you remember the time you came to my house in
Mhm.
Scottsdale? This was
Mhm.
my baseball house. This was my baseball when I was playing house. I don't
Right.
have it anymore. But
Right.
I had an indoor racquetball ball court,
Mhm.
and then we had where you could play basketball.
Right.
Well, I don't remember, but I remember we had some good racquetball games.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
remember who won, but
Yeah, you
I
whooped my tail. You whooped my tail, but we had some pretty aggressive games.
yeah, yeah, and I stood there and I said, "Come on, Sess, I want to see you slam it." And we were playing at the time, and it was like no
Easy,
problem. You're slamming
easy,
right and left.
easy, easy. You know, I folks don't realize though, but I keep telling folks that I was a San Gabriel Valley Player of the Year in 1981. I was a San Gabriel Valley Player of the Year in basketball.
Right.
So so that was my first love. I swear to God, if I could have played if I'd have been 6'5", there's no way I wouldn't have played basketball. You know, let me
Yeah.
tell you the story about this
Yeah.
because I got to tell you this. So when we were coming up, they had our AAU team. So we had like uh we had like Tyron Knowles, we had Nigel McGill, all these boys went to UCLA, Michael Hope, we had a guy that went to school in LA. That I used to always check his numbers. And all these guys that played on the AAU team went to all these big colleges. All my teammates, Mark Herdenstein from West Covina, all these dudes that great players in high school.
Right.
Dwayne Polee was the city player of the year. He was on that team. My off guard, Pete Williams, he was the leader in rebounds at Arizona back in the
Wow.
day. So all these guys I played with, they just were taller. Pete ended up being 6'8", 6'9". So he led the Pac-10 in rebounding. So if I would have been 6'5", Rob, I'd have never played baseball.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad
I
you
love
weren't.
basketball.
Yeah. Basketball is one of those things that anybody knows this about me. I always joke around and I always say I can't even touch a basketball because my hands break out in hives. Like I'm allergic to touching a basketball. Like I have no touch whatsoever when it
So
comes
you're
to
a banger.
basketball.
You're a banger, bro. You're a banger.
Yeah, I when I shoot line drives. It hits the front of the rim and bounces back to half court. Like there's no touch in my game whatsoever. So
That's terrible.
all I remember is I could slam dunk pretty easy. But
Right.
and that's all. As long as I could do
But
that,
you're
I didn't.
athletic. We're athletic. We can
But I'm
do
not
anything.
athletic when it comes to that game.
No, but listen, football, baseball, you can do it. You can do anything you want to do. You could.
Well, I could have played football, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, thank God I played baseball.
Well, shit, we got the same injuries that we had. We would have had playing football, playing baseball. Think about
Yeah.
it.
Well,
Your back is taking a beating.
yeah, yeah. My back's had 3 major back surgeries. I have a metal screen in the front of my spine and 2 metal rods in the back. But if it wasn't for that, I would feel like I do when I was 25 because my knees, I've had 4 knee surgeries. Not one thing's wrong with them. I've had 3 wrist surgeries, nothing. It's just my back. If I had a bad back, I would be happy. You know what I mean?
You know, Rob, I was so fortunate during our baseball career, and I don't know, maybe that's probably why I feel like I feel some days that I never went on the disabled list until my last year in Major League Baseball.
Isn't
Never.
like I remember hearing that too now, and then I just remembered that.
And
And
you know, Robin, the crazy thing about it, it was a freak accident at home plate. Charlie Hayes hit a double in the gap, and I don't know, we were leading 8-3 against Cleveland. I remember like it was yesterday. And Willie Randolph tried to score me from first, and I slid into home head first, and I banged my thumb on the plate and broke my thumb. That was the only injury I ever had.
really? And you were
Yeah,
doing I've seen you steal bases in the big league, Sess. People
not
don't
many,
really people don't believe this. People don't realize this, but I've seen you steal bases.
not many,
No, well, but you stole them. I didn't
not
steal
many.
many either, but we could steal whenever we caught them
I
by
did it.
surprise. I was always
What? Hey, you know what? I used to always say. I told folks a lot that yeah, I scored. You know, I scored 100 runs twice. I
crazy.
mean, I scored 100 runs. I mean, I don't care how I did it. I did it. I scored 100 runs twice.
But see, the thing is, Sess, and my what was amazing to me is how good you were in RBI situations. And you don't drive in 130 runs just by picking up, runners at third, less than 2 outs. I mean,
Well,
you
you know
you were
that's
a
a
different
pride.
hitter.
That's a pride thing. I think one thing that really helped me in that situation though to really do what I did over those years was one time I was up. This is before you and Mickey got there, right?
And
So
Inky,
I really didn't have a lot of help, kind of by myself. But anyway, we're in the 8th inning, and we had a man on second base, no outs, and I had 2 strikes. So I spread out and I hit the ball to the right side, moved him over to third, and we didn't score. So I get back to the dugout, and that old man Sparky's got his hat off, rubbing his head, and I really didn't know why. I was like, "What?" I thought, okay, I moved the man over. We got a chance to win the game. Blah, blah. We didn't do it, so we ended up winning in extra innings. So as soon as I hit those steps, he called me into his office. He said, "Listen here, man. I don't ever want to see you do that ever again." He
yeah,
said, "Let me tell you something. I'd rather you take your 3 swings at a pitch than you have me depend on the guy hitting behind you because I don't trust him." He
yeah,
said, from here on, I want you to take every swing. Don't worry about it. I got you." That was it.
yeah.
It helped me go ahead and do what I had to do.
And how did that make you feel? Right,
Oh, man.
like a
The
million
man,
bucks, freedom.
well, uh, I really haven't talked a lot about Sparky. I did it one time and I fucking bursted out in tears, but I
Um,
he
Same
he
way.
yeah, I mean, that was like my dad in baseball. I mean, that guy, I mean, he used to try to give me days off and I tell him to get away from me. I mean,
You
he
could
w
you could do no wrong with Sparky. You
no,
could do no wrong. He loved
no,
you, and
yeah, he did. I
well,
mean,
you were our leader.
he
Tram
treated
and
me.
Tram and Lou were, they were the veteran. They
You're
were
right.
the strength behind us. But
Yeah, but that dude right there, man. I mean, he meant so much to me, and when his wife called me and told me that he didn't want to have a funeral, he didn't want people crying over him. I like I told her, you know, I don't know, you know, I went and visited his grave because I just couldn't
Did
take it,
you?
man. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I had
I'm the same way, Sess. I mean, for some reason, not he was just a great man, but he really, um, he really touched me, and like he was more than a manager, man.
he
He
was
was good at
everything.
getting us. Yeah, he was good at getting us motivated, and we
Yep,
knew he was always behind us, and
yep. And you know
it
the you
reminded.
know the thing about him, you know, when we had a guy, and this is pure Sparky. When we had a guy that was in trouble physically, mentally, whatever it was, if I went in the office and, "Hey, man, you know Tony, rest in peace, is going through it right now." "Okay, okay. What we need to do?" I mean, that's the kind he wouldn't tell. Now, if he'd have told on Tony, it was a wrap
Right,
because Tony had already had 2 strikes,
right,
and this old man said, "Hey, what we gotta do?" And
yeah,
that's when he rest in peace, Gary Vito, when he went out and stayed with Gary Vito and got himself back together.
right.
And Sparky, man, I don't know, Rob. I ain't never had a manager that had our back like that ever in
No,
my
I
life.
feel the same way, and I'm glad you said that. I wanna bring up a funny story to give the listeners kind of an idea of how Sparky did things, and
Uh-huh.
do you remember the time and I think that we were like 0 and 4 at the start off the season, and it was kinda like there nobody was panicking, but it was kinda getting to the point where, like, it's time to win our first game, we're better
You
than this, and I remember I don't know if you remember, but we were all sitting in the locker room, and the music's playing, and it's just like a Sunday normal day, and it kinda dawns on us, like, "Where's Sparky? He's not here yet." And it was kinda like, "Wow, that's weird, he is late." And all of a sudden, it was a day game, he came walking around the corner and didn't say anything. And he had that little office, and then he went into his
Right.
door. He went into his door, and it was real quiet now, kinda like, "What?" And all of a sudden, you hear this boom, and he slams the door in his office, and we were like, "What?" And remember his little ivory pipe he always
Oh,
smoked?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we're all sitting there, and the way the locker rooms are, we're facing, the other half of the team, and then there's
Yeah.
a long
And his
corridor,
office is straight. Yeah. Yeah.
and then there's a long corridor. So we're all sitting in there, and he slams his door, and it's totally silent, and everybody's like, "What is going on?" And then all of a sudden, about 5 minutes later, and you can vouch for me if this is not correct, he walked out in a pair of pink thong underwear, and he reached back and made sure it was real sexy in the back. He pulled them up, took his shirt off. He didn't have anything else on but those panties. I think he went barefooted, and he walked from his office all the
He's
way
so
through the lot,
stupid. That
and he
guy's
was
just
smoking his pipe and he didn't even smile. And all of a sudden, he goes down there, and you can hear that. Remember the door in the locker room where you'd walk through that and go ring 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 ring. Remember there's
yeah.
like an old pizza harlot.
Yeah. No, it's
You can
like yeah.
You hear him go down there, and then you hear him do his thing. Then all of a sudden, you hear him come back, walking back up, and he's got that pipe in his mouth, and he just walks straight to the locker room or straight to his office, and he slammed the door again. And as soon as he slammed the door, everybody erupted, "Yay!" And I think we went out and won like 4 or 5 games in a row.
Oh, yeah.
That's a true
That was
story,
it. Skip.
right?
Hey, listen, man. Listen, I remember the time we were in Toronto and the dang reporter uh, somehow put in the paper that we had had a team meeting without Sparky. Oh my God, that reporter got chewed out.
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
did you do it? Tell me why did you? Oh my God! I mean, like Skip beat everybody inside the locker room, and
yeah.
had that guy in his office before we got there, and it was a fire going on in that
Oh,
office. No pun
yeah.
intended. He wore his ass out.
And you
So,
know,
so again, that guy is the only manager I ever had that had our backs like that. The only one.
yeah. And you know, like what I liked so much about playing in Detroit with you guys is it was the same atmosphere as it was in Milwaukee. It 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 was like we were all pulling for each other.
Yep.
There was nobody, it was like you have to have, it's that old saying where everybody's in the canoe and you got 10 people rowing, right? Everybody has to row the same oar. The one
Yep.
in the back that's got his oar in the water stuck and you're going around in circles. Everybody's got
Yep.
to be rowing together. And
Gotcha.
that's what it was all about. And that's why those teams are
W-
so much fun.
Well, and again, I played on some pretty good teams, and we won the World Series in New York. I had a good team in Toronto, but there was no team I had that was that close
Yeah.
that I played on. I mean, even my World Series team, we weren't that close. I mean, we had a lot of good players, but we didn't have that camaraderie that we had in Detroit. It just was not there. I tell a story all the time. We were in Milwaukee, and we went back to your hometown. So we're in Milwaukee, and my boy, I love him to death, Travis Fryman could not stop throwing the damn helmet. So now, Rob, Detroit and Milwaukee had the worst dugouts in the world.
Puny.
Terrible, terrible. So here comes Travis, and he fires that damn helmet, and it pops all over the dugout. So you told Travis, he said, Travis, and you did it so cool. You wouldn't raise your voice. Travis, if that helmet hits me, I'm going to break your head. I don't think Travis ever threw the helmet again.
Hey,
That
the
was
only
it.
the only time I've ever seen you mad in the dugout, Gibby smoked you in the back with a helmet, and I've never seen you pissed like that before.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Well,
I,
and
I, I just I don't understand that. I mean, do that shit out on the field. Don't do it in the dugout with all your teammates. You're gonna hurt somebody.
right. But here's the key, and I said this last week. Ricky Henderson, God rest his whole soul, right? But Ricky always played with a smile. He always had
Always,
fun. You never saw him
always,
hang his head. You never saw him get mad. Nothing.
always.
I put you in the same. I put you in the same category. You always had fun, Sess. You were always having fun. You were the person that kept everybody like loose,
Yeah.
and you were
Well,
so
you gotta have that, but you gotta have it. Man, the only
you
way to
were
play the
so
game.
good at doing that, and I don't even think you realize that.
Well, the only way to play the game is you gotta have fun. You gotta enjoy playing
Yeah,
the game. I mean, listen, we played against the best athletes in the world.
yeah.
Let's talk about that part. From Kirby Puckett to Dave Winfield to Ricky Henderson to Jose Canseco. I don't care what they say.
I
That
don't either.
Jose Canseco was a bad boy, right?
Yes.
Rafael
Yeah.
Palmeiro,
You can
all
say
them
what you
dudes.
want to. Yeah.
Yeah, all
These
them dudes.
guys. Yeah.
And we were some of the best players in the world. Well, come on now, we were some of the best players in the world. I mean, how many people can say that?
Yeah.
Why
Uh,
wouldn't you have fun? Why wouldn't you
yeah.
have fun? You got to
Yeah.
enjoy the game. I love the game of baseball. I don't even watch it now, Rob. I'm so
I don't either,
disgusted
but I
with
sure
it.
love it.
That's my game, but I do not watch it.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
What?
No, you can't disrespect the game, man. I
No.
I look at guys nowadays, and there's a certain number of guys that play the game the right way. But there's some guys that I get. I don't know what it is about taking days off that just don't do good with me.
Yeah.
Because Sparky used to always try to give me a day off, and I was just like, okay, even if I ain't swinging the bat good, right? If
Yeah.
I can get Sweet, Tramp, and Travis a good pitch with just me being in the lineup, then damn, I had a good day, even if I ain't got no hits. And that's the way I look at it. And maybe it was a good thing for the team, but it was a bad thing for me. But maybe I needed a couple of days off on some of them days, but I just couldn't see myself sitting over there watching my teammates play, and I'm gonna take a day off just because I'm not getting no hits. That just didn't sit good with me. I just
Yeah.
no,
Yeah. I did.
no.
I wasn't I didn't like days off either.
Because I felt
And then
terrible the
always.
next day. I felt
Yeah.
terrible the next day, number one.
It's like when you go to the All-Star game or like when you have the All-Star break. I didn't go to the
Yep.
All-Star game, but when you have the All-Star break and it's only like 3 days long, Well, when you get back and you go take BP for the first time that you haven't hit in 2 or 3 days, it feels like you haven't hit in 6 months,
Exactly.
right?
That's
The
my
timing
point.
and
That's
yeah,
my point. I hated it.
yeah,
I hated taking the day off because I knew not that day. That day off might have felt good where I'm in the clubhouse sleeping the whole game. But the next day, I messed up my wrist one time in Oakland and Carney Lansford ran into me at first base and kind of jammed me up.
yeah.
And I couldn't really swing. And I didn't take a day off the first 3 or 4 days, but then Sparky made me take a day off. So I was we were in Kansas City after Oakland, and I was in the clubhouse sleeping, and I was snoring and everything. And hey Rob, I jumped up. There's nobody in the club. I mean, nobody. I thought you guys left me. I thought you guys had left me. So my heart is beating real fast, and all of a sudden, somebody runs up the tunnel and tells me, "Get ready to hit." And I'm just waking up. I'm like,
No.
yeah. So I go to my locker and throw my clothes on real quick and run down to the intentional walk meet. So that was a good thing.
I was
But
gonna say you
yeah, I
probably
I just didn't like
I was
those
gonna say
days
I
off.
thought you probably hit it over the roof.
No, no, I wasn't worth nothing that day. Off
Yeah,
days, I would just shut it off, and see, that's what I'm saying. I don't like off days because I can't shut it off and turn it back. It ain't gonna work that day. If you say I'm off, it's a wrap. I'm shutting
right.
off. It's off.
I hear you.
Now, that's the only way I know how to play. If I'm playing, it starts at home at 12 o'clock. I'm trying to get myself ready to get on the field because you know how it is. Some days at home, you be like, damn, I don't know if I can get out there today. And by the
Yeah,
time you get to drinking your coffee and getting stretched and doing what you got to do, getting the sweat going, hey, you make it.
yeah.
But man, it starts at home. I tell people all the time, don't start when you get to the ballpark. You be trying to figure that stuff out when you're at home before you even think about going to the ballpark.
And I wanna get another thing across. How many days how many games have you played where you just felt like total you were done and get 3
Right.
hits or get a big
Oh, I hit 3 home runs
like
one day.
yeah, so that's the key is, like, you don't have to
Look,
feel good, it's just it's all mental, man, it's like we didn't have a
no, no.
chance to
I
to
I
say
the
that.
I always had, who used to treat me bad was Swindell. I don't know why he used to get me out all the time. And I went into Cleveland, and I wasn't feeling real good. And the first home run I hit, I just flipped it to right field. Corey Snyder jumped on the wall, and he missed it, so that was one. And then the next two, I hit bombs to straightaway center. So I hit and that was the year before you got there. So I hit 3 that day, and I didn't feel good.
Yeah. So, like, it's you don't have to feel good if you're mentally like, we didn't
You
have a
that's
chance
man,
to be able to do that.
it's right here, man.
That's where it is.
I tell my son in college, I said, man, listen, you playing number one, you got an ACC championship ring last year. You one of like 3 or 4 uh uh guys that were preferred walk-ons that got ACC championship rings. You guys went 13-0. Okay.
Wow.
So let's take that ring and take that home with us.
Yeah.
Second, they've redshirted you. So you're a redshirt freshman, and you were on the first team for you were on special teams first team as a freshman, redshirt. This year you're gonna play. And I said, when you get your opportunity to play, you better grab that son of a gun by the throat and you never let him go.
Yeah.
You take that, you ride him all the way into the NFL. Ride it
Yes.
all the way into the NFL because that's gonna make you a better player. Knowing that man, let me tell you, I tell
You're
people all the
right.
time, Rob, every year that we play, they drafted a guy that played right field. Am I right or wrong?
Right. You're yeah.
Every year. So you got 10, 12, 14, 15 years of playing time, but they drafted 15 of them cats while you were still playing.
Right.
Somebody at some point is gonna get your job, right?
Right. It just
So
happens.
I don't want him to get my job. Hey, I'm gonna keep that job as long as I can. You're not getting
Yeah.
it. And so
Yeah.
I told Tony and my boy when Booney came to manage. That's after all you guys were gone. I was the last one there, man.
Yeah.
96. And they're in spring training and Bob Boone, not Bob Boone, no, it was Bob Boone. Was it Bob? No, no. Was Who played third base for Texas? Was
Palmer,
it
Dean Palmer.
No, before them. I mean, Bell, Buddy Bell. God, it was Buddy Bell.
Oh,
Buddy
okay.
Bell came into Detroit in '96 after Sparky had left, and he took over the team. Okay. Rob, as a 12, 13-year veteran, come to spring training, and this guy is playing 20, 27 outs. I told Tony Clark, I said, Tony, it's your team now, babe. I never went out on the field for no 27 outs. Man, that's shit you do in instructional ball.
Right.
This is the big leagues, dude.
Yeah.
And I told Tony, it's your team. I will never play a first base again in Detroit. And I didn't. And I hit 27, 26 home runs, at 80 ribbies that when I got traded at the All-Star break. Yeah.
Wow.
This
And
guy.
then you went to New York.
And we won it. Yeah. Yeah. So I really wanted to end my career in Detroit, but there was, I don't know, if Sparky was ready to go, okay. I can't get into that because that's management. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
But that was my dude. I didn't like the way he left.
Yeah.
So, and the next guy that came in was not going to be like my favorite. That's just, Sparky Anderson, Buddy Bell. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Okay. We're good there. So I was frustrated in the fact that not only was I there by myself, but all my boys are gone. You, Mickey, Tony, Inky, Tram, Lou, everybody's gone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so I get spring training, Rob. I get the spring training. I'm looking, Travis ended up leaving in spring training. So I'm looking
He went to
around.
Cleveland, right?
Yeah, he went to Cleveland. So, Rob, I'm looking around, man. There's nobody left.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out who was on that team now.
I can't even remember. I know Tony was because I told him you're playing first base. I couldn't call another player on that team.
Isn't that crazy?
Man.
Let's talk a little bit about the late and great, one of my favorite, Tony Phillips.
Oh my God.
What a great teammate. Like he was a special person. I had a lot of fun with him. We had a lot of time.
Another
We
guy,
spent a lot
Rob.
of time in the cage.
That's another guy, Rob, that I mean, that was a tough one because, you and I have spent a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
Yeah, Tony.
I don't know, a lot of people know the story, but you had a Ferrari at the time. Tony had that Acura. So
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
I swear I know what you're
going to Arizona to spend some time with you guys in the off season. And I would Tone, and Tone has this little Acura. He thinks this Acura is the bomb.com. And you hit that Ferrari, and here goes Tony hits, and you guys we're on a street in Scottsdale. I'm like, these guys are crazy. We're going in and out of traffic, and here he goes with this little Acura. I said, Tony, you're gonna blow your Acura up if you keep trying to mess with that Ferrari. What a time we had. That guy, and we was having I forget who was at plate one time, and I think one of our pitchers was throwing at one of the other team. Oh, it was Sheffield. It was against Milwaukee. And Tony told Sheffield, go get him.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy Tony was.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
go get him.
Yeah. It didn't matter. He'd fight anybody at any given time. And
what about the time Minnesota was in town and what was his name? What was it? Atkins, whatever his name was. He was a good pitcher. He threw a sinker ball from Minnesota. Anyway, he threw at Tony a couple pitches. So the next day, he comes to my locker. He said, Dad. He said, Dad.
That's what he always called you, Dad, or Big
Daddy. Dad.
Yeah.
When we go out to hit, when they come in to the circle to stretch, I'm gonna get his ass, Dad. I'm gonna get his ass. I said, Tony, you're not gonna go in there. He went right in the circle.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, okay. He ain't scared of nothing. He wasn't scared of nothing.
Nothing.
Him and Dan Gladden, because remember they got into the skirmish in the damn locker room? I'm
Because of
like,
it.
oh, okay, we got the little men in here fighting now.
Yeah.
We got problems, boys.
Yeah. And they started going at it over whose seat was whose, and it was like,
Playing cards, Rob.
yeah.
Those were two. Hey, there
Boo-ray.
were two mall diggers right there. Those are two mall diggers right there. I'm telling you, them two guys get after it. They get and listen there. Those are the kind of guys you need on your team, though.
Right?
One time, I got 130 ribbies, man. I'm at to play this last 4 or 5 games. I'm at to play, whatever. So he needed another run scored, right? So he needed another run scored. So I get 2 strikes on me, and he's flaming. He's got smoke coming out of his fucking helmet. So all of a sudden he goes, "God damn it, Dad, let's go!" He's at third base now. And I look at him. Let's go. He screaming at me from third base. Like,
Yeah.
So now I drive him in. So check it out. I drive him in, and he brings my glove out. He said, "That way, Dad."
You sound just like him. And he,
Oh, that little midget.
yeah.
And the crazy thing about this, and this is going full circle, I swear. He has a nephew that played for the Bucks, right? Jermaine Phillips. So where I live now, Jermaine Phillips and Tony's nephew, Jermaine's son, we're all connected.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it was crazy. When I moved here to move, it was like Jermaine. I met Jermaine when he was young, when he played at the University of Georgia.
Right.
And, now he's had a damn 10-year NFL career, and he's got a son. And so, yeah, we're all connected. And that's a good – and then, matter of fact, Jermaine's ex-wife, said the other day that, she misses Tony. I mean, I can't even understand it. But I can understand it now that I've had my health issues, man. Life is too short, man.
Yeah. We have to
You
be
better
careful.
grab it. You better grab life by the neck and don't let it go, man, because at some point it's coming.
Yeah.
And
No,
I'm not ready. I got too much
No.
to do. I got too much to do.
I got 5 wonderful kids. I got 4 wonderful grandkids. My
Yes,
parents are
sir.
still around. It's like,
Yes,
and
sir.
I got to stay healthy. We have to stay
Nah.
healthy, Seth.
No, I ain't leaving yet. I got things
No.
to do, man. I got
Yeah.
to see this young one. Rob, I'm telling you, I got another one in this house that's gonna play Major League Baseball. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He's
I've seen him. I saw
he's
his
also
videos.
brilliant. He got a mind. He thinks. He
Good.
knows what he's doing at the plate. It's unbelievable. It's so much like Prince. I can't believe it.
Isn't that cool? That's so cool. That's exciting to be able to see what happens.
I look at him, Rob, and I gotta check myself. I'm like, oh, that ain't Prince. It's the left-handed bangers.
Really?
The left hand. I swear, I wish we could have hit left-handed.
Oh, that would
have been what?
Oh,
my God. These guys got it made. I'm gonna tell you what. The best player in baseball. There's 2 of them. I'm gonna tell you who they are right now. I got to give you 3 because that other boy. So Judge, Bennett, Betts, and Ohtani.
You don't
Those
like
are my 3
Tatis,
picks.
San Diego?
I like him, but you already know.
Yeah.
You already know. He's a player, right? He's a player. But that dang Judge, man, he got 3 years straight with 50 and above.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
And listen, what my boys was doing in the 90s and the 2000s, that's great. But to see this 6'8", 270-pound guy play center field and do what he's doing, I got to give him what he got. He was the MVP. He was the MVP.
And he's the improvements, and you can see from his first year in the big leagues.
Yeah.
And he stays on the ball better. He hits the ball. He knows, just like we all do. When you do that, that happens.
Well, in the World Series, he was here, right? He didn't get going until that 5th game. If we'd have won that 5th game, Dodgers would have had some problems. And we had to win. We just didn't play good defense. We just didn't play defense. So I'm just telling you, the Ohtani kid, and now he's coming back to pitch too. Oh man, that's crazy. That's
And
crazy,
he throws 100.
dude.
I mean, with a filthy
And he stole
slider
50 bases, man.
and hit 50 homers.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
amazing.
what ball your furthest home run? And I guarantee I
Well,
was there.
okay, I'm gonna give you this is gonna shock you, but I'm gonna give it to you. I played rookie ball in Butte, Montana.
Me
I
too.
played for the Butte Copper Kings. Oh, so you played in Butte?
Yeah,
Okay,
I was in Great Falls.
okay. So but you played in Butte, right?
Mhm. That's where
I
Evel
hit a
Knievel
ball out of the stadium.
in Butte.
You know where the scored players box is?
Yeah.
I hit a ball over the fence in left field. That was the furthest ball I've ever hit.
Really?
Yeah, I hit the ball out of the stadium in Detroit and then Milwaukee. Okay, great. But I hit the ball in a football stadium over the damn score box.
Wow. That's a bomb.
No, that's a bomb.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So you know what we did in Detroit and Milwaukee. Okay, you seen that. But that ball I hit him.
I saw your shot in Milwaukee. I saw that live. I was sitting on the bench because Boddicker threw me a 22-mile-an-hour breaking ball and he jammed me. I think I popped it up to third and Sparky was like, "You need to take a breather. We're gonna let you sit out for the rest of the night." And
Oh my God.
I got to see you airmail that thing off Plesac.
Oh
That
yeah.
was
I
100
got it.
where everything's going and you
I got it.
you got
Oh,
him.
the tap, my tap was on point. I was back on time. Everything worked. Everything worked.
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah. Let me ask you this, and I asked Bonnie this. What does it feel like to have 49 home runs knowing you need one more?
That
50
was
home
rough.
runs. Like that would suck to end the season. I've ended the
Dude,
season before with 99 ribbies,
dude, I'm in
right?
New York State. I'm in Yankee Stadium on 49. The first 2 games I had nothing. So they pitched this kid named Steve Atkins in game 3, last game of the season. First first at bat, he walked me in. Second at bat, so Don Manley tells me, "Man, just go ahead and do it, man. Just do it." He said, "Man, I'm looking for something to hit." He said, "Man, don't even worry about that. Just get a pitch and just do it." Next at bat, he throws me a fastball, 2-0. He throws me a fastball, and I smoke him off the triple deck. I hit it up off the facing of the third deck.
Yeah.
And then the next at bat, the lefty, I can't even remember his name. I hit one in the bullpen out in center field. I hit a bomb. So I ended up with 50. I hit 2 that night, the last game of the year. But I had
Wow.
49. I hit 49 against Minnesota with about 2 weeks left. So I went like 10 days with nothing.
Sounds like the same exact story as Bonnie. It was the last
I
day
man.
he hit 50.
You
But
know the
I think
thing.
that's such a
Yeah, that was
I think
hard, man.
you
But you
get to
know,
50, man. That's just a milestone. That's a big, huge number. 50 home
well,
runs in a
but
season.
check out my boy Mark McGuire going to 60s.
Yeah.
That's
Right?
great. And can you imagine being at that point where you're gonna break Maris's record?
Right?
You don't think there's some pressure on you at that point?
Wasn't that Judge 2 years ago? At the
Yeah,
end of the season, like, at the end, I
yeah,
think he had hit it and he tied it or
yeah. He
something.
did it. He did it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. To
It's
me, that's
insane.
crazy because I look at the season I hit 51. Oh, there was 15 balls that I hit to the wall.
Yeah.
Easy.
Okay.
Y-
Here's my Eric Gregg story, and I thought about
Okay.
this last night,
Uh
and
huh.
I told my partner this, and he said, "Oh, there it is." So you and Prince end up with 200 or 314 home runs?
319. 319.
319, I'm sorry.
Don't
So
slight. Don't slight.
do you remember this? We were in Yankee Stadium and you hit a homer and Eric Gregg called it foul.
No, it wasn't Eric Gregg. It was the
Wasn't
other
it?
dude. It wasn't Eric Gregg. It was uh oh man, he started with an M. He
McCullen?
he ended up
Tim McCullen?
who?
Tim
No, it
McCullough?
was the black guy. It was the black guy.
Oh,
I just almost said it. He called it out because he said Bam Bam Eunice got interfered with.
and I saw that ball was fair.
Oh my God.
So I'm counting that home run. You're leading Prince now.
And I beat Canseco for the home run championship.
Right. That ball was
We
foul,
ended up
Sess. I vouch for it. I peeked my head out of Yankee Stadium in the dugout. I said, that ball's foul. They called it fair. You went crazy, and I'm giving you that homer.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, no, that homer though, he called it fan interference.
Oh, something was weird, right?
Yeah, he called fan interference. And me and Sparky was out there. The old man had his hat off, throwing it in the crowd. And I used to sing the Bud song for him because you remember the commercial with the black guy and the Bud. He just become an umpire and they'd sing the this Bud for you. I used to sing that song for him all the time. I said, well, how can you do that to me? How can you do it to me? I've sing the song for you. What are you doing?
Yeah.
How can God? I just about to say his name again. Oh man, but he umpired for a long time.
trying
He
to
ended up
think.
retiring. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I'm trying to think
man,
who that was.
listen, our umpires we had back in the day, man, was something. We had some crazy. Garcia was one. You know what?
I'm-
I went. This is the only time, dude, that I went to this event. But remember Kenny Kaiser?
Yep.
He wrestler, right?
Yeah.
So he has this thing in Rochester, New York, where he brings in all of his homeboys, all the old wrestlers, uh, uh, who's Andre the Giant and all these. I mean,
Oh, yeah. I remember hearing about that.
Hawk and the Animal. I mean, he's bringing all these boys in, and we go to this thing, and I ain't never seen a man as big as Andre the Giant in my life. I mean, he almost had to sit on 2 chairs.
Yeah.
He was huge. And Animal, Animal had a son that played at Ohio State, linebacker.
I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm anxious to hear your answer.
Okay.
What's the number one thing you missed today about the game?
I already told you, man. I miss the camaraderie. I miss my teammates. I miss waking up in the morning knowing that I'm going to the ballpark to play a ball game. I miss being around my friends.
Yeah.
I think that to me, yeah, the fanfare, the personal awards, so what? I think the biggest part of baseball that I miss is that camaraderie. I mean, it's just, you ain't
Yeah.
never
That's
gonna
what
get
everybody
that back.
says.
You
That's
ain't
what
never gonna
everybody
get it
says.
back.
Sometimes, no. And sometimes people will say competition, and like I get competition in other things. I'm a big fan of UFC. I fish a lot, but I miss the camaraderie. And
Oh man.
that's the thing I like about this because I get to talk to you guys. We get to talk about old stories, and it's just like it's so much fun for me. And I love doing this.
Well, it's a good thing that you love doing because we all have to find something we love to do. Nowadays in my old age, my kids, watching the little fellow going to FSU to see my son, those are my pleasures now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
miss my son. I'm gonna tell you, my
Yeah,
boy in college, I miss him. I miss
yeah.
him. I mean, he and I were
I have
like,
one in college. I have one in
yeah,
college,
I
and I get to
miss him,
see him
man.
all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I miss the
No,
dude. I can't.
they don't understand how we get attracted to them, and they're our kids, and it's just like
Yeah, yeah.
all my
I talk
girls are
to
in
him
San
though.
Diego.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
talk to him every day though. I talk to him every day. I got to see his face, make sure he's doing good. But you know, you know,
yeah.
when I first dropped him off as a freshman, it was hard, Rob. Oh man, oh,
Oh, yeah,
that was hard.
yeah.
And, now the little one,
Jackson's going to ASU.
me and the little one are together every day, so I see him every single day.
Yeah,
That's one of the reasons why I stopped moving around so much is because of him. Because you know, I you know, we did so much while we were playing. We missed a lot, right?
yeah.
And in these 3 young ones I got, I ain't missing nothing. I'm going to
No,
everything. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be there for him because with the first two, I missed a lot. I mean, it was, it was how we were able to live because what we were playing and
Right.
we were doing what we had to do. But now that I can be at home and watch them and laugh and giggle and talk trash to them, like, my kids is
So
so
much
funny.
fun.
When I took my
That's
kids up to
great.
when I took my kids up to Detroit when they gave me the Legacy Award, they didn't really understand who I was. These young three. They were like, "Ah, yeah,
Right.
Dad, I know you play baseball." But then when they started showing them highlights and what happened when I was playing in Detroit, they were like, "Dang, Dad?" Like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
your daddy was the man here, dude. Your daddy was the man."
Yeah. So make me a promise you'll come back on. We'll just talk about something else.
Please. All you gotta do
Yeah,
is
we'll just
all you
talk.
gotta do is reach
We'll
out.
see what. Yeah, we'll see what's going on with your son in football, or
No, no.
we'll
If
do
that
something.
goes down, yeah, we gotta stay on top of that one because I think, I talked to a coach the other day and he said that, they're gonna make man, we were 13-0 2 years ago, and this year we're 2-11. How's that happen?
Just happens.
No, it's the NIL, man. I'm telling you, it's NIL. These kids can
Yeah.
leave and go and jump around. It's no loyalty no more, Rob. No, there's no
Right.
loyalty. Zero.
Right.
And I think that's hurting
Right.
everything. That's hurting baseball, basketball. There's no loyalty. It's give me the money. Where's it? And now you got
It,
baseball players making $760 million. Are you kidding me? Man, I wish
it's
I was playing
crazy.
now. I wish I was playing.
They they
I,
wouldn't have enough money to pay you, Sess.
I wish I was
You'd
playing.
break the bank. You
Well,
break the
I'm telling you,
bank.
Rob, in the next 5 or 6 years, we're gonna have a $1 billion player. Can you believe that?
That's what I was talking to Gladden about. There's going to be $1 billion player.
It's
I
gonna be
can't
a
see it
$1 billion
yet.
player. I couldn't see it
Yeah.
until Otani. Once Otani got 7, now Soto's got 765. Everybody else is the next the next number 1 free agent's gotta be on top of that. So you're gonna be at
Yeah.
800, 815,
Yeah.
830. In 4 or 5 years, there's gonna be a $1 billion player. He's gonna play for 15 years for $1 billion.
Yep. That's exactly right. I guarantee you.
Oh, it's coming.
It's a lot of pressure.
And my son, Max,
A
is
lot of
gonna be the
pressure.
second. Max is gonna be the second $1 billion player. There he is.
Who's going to be first?
Matt,
Oh, yeah.
I
Is
don't
that
know,
Max
but
right there?
Max, come. Say what's up to Rob.
So
What?
He got
Hey, I
every
tell him I
ball.
see him hit. Tell him I see him. Tell him I
That's
see
my
him hitting in
teammate.
the cage,
He
and he looks
watching you here.
great.
He said, "All right,
Yeah.
thanks, man." Oh no, he gonna be all right.
Yeah.
He gonna be
Yeah.
all right. Yeah,
Hey,
he gonna take care of Dad.
there you go. There
He
you
said
go.
he gonna push Dad
Hey,
around
I
and give
want
me. He gonna push Dad around and give me my dentures.
to.
Oh
Hey.
lordy.
Mom wanted to do that too.
I want to tell you. I want to tell you. Thanks a million for being here,
Man, Rob, you ain't
being
gotta
on
thank
the show.
me. We partners, man. Anytime you reach out,
Oh,
I
I
told
know.
you, reach out.
We
I'm
always
here.
partners. We always
I'm
partners.
here.
But I want to tell you thanks, and I'm glad to see you look so great and sound great. I mean, everything's going good for us.
Well, hey, let's keep the faith, man, and keep chugging.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to tell you thank you very much for being here. It's been a true pleasure, and you are a
Yeah.
very, very, very super good friend of mine forever. You're a lifelong friend.
That's right. That's right. All right, man. Y'all be
So
good.
you
Hey, hope
come
everything
back.
goes well when you put the show out. Make sure you let me know.
I will. I will for sure. Keep in touch, Seth. And it was great
I
talking
do
to
it.
you. And I will see you soon.
All right,
All
brother.
right, man. Thanks. Bye.
Peace.